I had that one New York City video from yesterday, and I was going to include this story in here as well, but because we have more information on it now, I just figured, what the fuck, why not? Now we're going to be talking about this one right here, where you have this is a sweet little girl. That's a bad picture, okay? Obviously, gentlemen, not that bad, okay? Not that bad on a multitude of levels, okay? You could easily be swindled if you're of a easily persuadable persuasion, lack of a better term, but she got a nice ass and she got nice tits, okay? Outside of that, you could probably throw her a fucking hot one. But would you risk your life on it? Woman dubbed Little Devil. To be fair, it was La Diablita. That's what she tried to call herself, but I don't know how you pronounce the double I's because she might be really, really good at committing atrocities, but grammar and spelling, not quite her strong suit. But she's on trial for luring 14 boys to Long Island MS-13 massacre, licked the blood off of her lips. What? Excuse me? As gangsters hacked them to death with machetes. Was she holding the knife with her teeth? Like, okay, I'm sure that was probably just hyperbole, okay? But I could also think of some fucked scenarios where, it was actually happened. Anywho, her name is Leniz Escobar. She is 22, and she was trying to pick up teenagers? The fuck is wrong with you? You're 22. Whatever. Prosecutors on Long Island said Wednesday that a woman known as Diablita, the Little Devil, well, that would be La because she's a woman, but whatever. Gendered language because that actually matters in, most other civilized nations, Mexico aside, but with other civilized language, except for the abortion that is becoming the English language. But again, whatever. Who lured 4 teens to a local park where MS-13 gang members hacked them to death with machetes, showed little compassion for her victims, and even licked the blood off of her lips while watching the massacre. All right, Leniz Escobar, 22, drew the young man to a local park after lying to the MS-13 members, saying that they had mocked the gangsters. Oh, okay. Prosecutor Justina Garrisi, sure, said during closing arguments in the trial, which wrapped up this week in Central Islip, New York. You heard MS-13 gang members David Gatan Riviera's testimony. Garrisi told the jury of the 2017 slaying, and they're just going to trial right now. Okay, he told you how one of the victims had reached for Escobar while he was killed and his blood had gotten all over her shirt, and told you how she licked her lips. Okay. Kelly Gomez, a friend of Diablita, that's Escobar, testified that she and Escobar crouched down, seen the unflattering booking photo, crouched down by the victims and watched them as they were killed, not screaming or crying while the victims were macheted to death. People experience shock, okay, in different ways, okay? Unless, of course, you're gang affiliated and you see this shit all the time. Just saying, it's still in deliberations right now, unless she's been convicted or anything, so she hasn't been proven to have done anything, but, Garrisi also said Escobar, whose boyfriend was a high-ranking member of the gang, smiled as Michael Lopez, 20, was hacked to death. That's not a teenager, just saying. So those were the 4 kids that were hacked up of various different ages. Don't really care specifically. More information on them. Prosecutors say Lopez, 20, and 3 friends. Justin Livia Cura, 16. Jorge Tigre, is that your real name? 18. And Jefferson Villalobos, 18. Are you hanging out with a 16-year-old? Why you do that? Were executed by the notorious gang. Yep. Mexico's not sending their best. Escobar is said to have snitched on the teens for claiming to have been MS-13 gang members on social media. Why would you be so stupid as to do that? With its real members deciding to execute them for it, deeming social media boasting a show of disrespect. Yeah, exactly. And again, why would you self-snitch on yourself? Even if you were a gang member, why would you post that on social media? Fuck's wrong with you? But again, this is logic from somebody who's not inside of a gang, so it might be a little bit of a disconnect. They were also accused by the gang of being members of rival 18th Street Gang. Aha! I think that was a central plot point to which Grand Theft Auto game? They allege that Escobar and Gomez brought them to the park to smoke marijuana. That's all they were going to do. Just four guys with a 22-year-old Hispanic girl just go into a park to smoke dope. That's all they were going to do. All right. As the gangsters waited to kill them, recalling the moment his friends were hacked to death, Ruiz told the court they came through a hole in the fence. That's what some of those boys were hoping to do. There were 8 or 9. They covered their faces with sweaters. Well, gotta hide the face tattoos. They came and formed a semicircle and told us to get on our knees. They said, don't move. Whoever moved dies. Well, I guess we know 4 people who decided to play the hokey pokey. I ran because the first words they said was we were gonna die, they were gonna kill us, and they had weapons. Yeah, why not? That seems like a pretty good bet. Okay, they can't kill all of you if all they have are machetes, I guess. I took off running, and there were 2 people who started to follow me, he said. There was one person who survived, by the way, and that's the guy who's telling this story. Elmer Alexander Ortega Ruiz. We'll just call him Elmer, because that's always fun to say. Elmer said he and his friends made the MS-13 posts in a bid to impress women. Oh my god. Never simp. Never, ever simp, because you could, I know this is an extreme case and all that stuff, and especially if you're trying to impress women by being in a gang, there's so many more, oh my god, there's so many more reasonable people. If there were fathers in homes, this wouldn't be a anyways, whatever, different topic for another day. Ruiz was a poser, and that's why he was marked for death. I guess Sari said of Ruiz, he thought this stuff would attract girls, and it did, but not in the way that he had hoped. No, it played out exactly the way it was supposed to, because at one point or another, there either would have been some problems now or some problems in the future, because these were kids who were trying to get into a fucking gang. Well, most of them were adults. There was that one 16-year-old. And the fact that you need to resort to claiming that you're in a gang at fucking 18 and 20 years old, you're useless. But with all of that said, prosecutors say Escobar was 17 years old in April of 2017 when she helped orchestrate the massacre as an associate of the notoriously ruthless gang before falsely claiming to be a victim in the ambush. Oh, she tried to pull the victim card. Ain't gonna work out too well for you. MS-13 had been seeking to settle a score, prosecutors allege, and believed the young victims to be members of the rival 18th Street gang, whatever that is. The victims' families have denied that any of the slain men were in a gang. And it really doesn't much matter, okay? Cool, so 4 people are still dead. But it was gang shit. 4 people are still dead, okay? The fuck is wrong with you? The average at best, Latina's attorneys have argued that she did not know the victims would be in any way attacked. How could you make that claim with a straight face? Listen, I was just snitching out to MS-13, who are always known for their diplomacy, that, yeah, no, nothing was gonna happen. Nothing was gonna happen. That's why I lured them with pot and probably promises of, you know, certain accoutrements as well. And the 8 or 9 guys were just gonna come in there to make sure that everybody's blunts were properly lit, okay? They didn't know anything was gonna happen. Not every girlfriend is an associate, defense attorney Jesse Siegel said. Her boyfriend was a homeboy. Technical terms we're using here, I see. She was there. She certainly didn't prevent it from happening. The issue is if she knew something was going to happen. She was vital. Apparently, this is the prosecution's case. She was vital to the planning of this happening, okay? Yeah, it doesn't really much matter what her reaction to the eventual chopping up was, okay? She crouched down. She didn't shed a tear for a bunch of fuckboys that just ended up turning up, and it's like, well, guess what? Now you're dead. But she was the one to lure those kids to the situation. Don't know what to tell you. At one point, Siegel accidentally said you should find her guilty before correcting himself. That makes sense. That's defense attorney Jesse Siegel. During opening statements on Monday, U.S. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Oh, this is a Fed case. Oh, okay, cool. So she's like really totally fucked. It said that the victims were just high school kids and their only crime was flashing MS-13 gang signs on social media to look tough and get attention. Again, better ways to do that. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because it just kind of falls in my wheelhouse. I like to do these intermittent trial coverages. Need a better terminology for it, but these different lesser publicized court cases, and it was an example of when simping goes wrong. So I'd imagine, what was she on what was she charged with? Pulling up another article to just figure out what she's actually been charged with. The only thing that's being alluded to is orchestrating the killing. So, once again, even as gruesome as all this stuff is, it's still going to be a woman, so she's still going to get a lighter sentence, and she probably, I don't know, just to snitch on the guys who actually, you know, were swinging the machetes, probably ended up copping, or will end up catching just a lighter sentence than what she should. So, we've seen it before, we'll see it again, and we'll always see it over and over and over again, because accountability, my dude, you even seen it in some of the stuff that we were reading there, just fucking goes like water off the back of a duck here. A very curvy duck, if you will. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.